Moving to Australia can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. The Move to Australia directory from Smart Steps to Australia brings together all the essential services you need into one convenient place, making it easier to find the right professionals to turn your dream into reality. Whether you're looking for a trusted migration agent, competitive shipping quotes, guidance on buying your first home, or help relocating your beloved pet, our directory has it all. We've curated the best services to support your new life in Australia. Find everything you need to make your move stress-free, with experts just a click away. Visit directory.smartstepstoaustralia.com and simplify your relocation journey today.
Welcome to the New Life in Australia podcast, hosted by me, Karen Bleakley, founder of smartstepstoaustralia.com. Moving to Australia with my family was a life-changing experience, but it wasn't without its challenges. That's why I'm passionate about making the relocation and resettlement process easier for you so you can enjoy this exciting adventure. Join me and my special guests as we share professional secrets and tips, learn from people who've made the move, and discover businesses that can help you realise your dreams. Now is the best time to create the life you've always wanted. This podcast is here to show you what's possible and to inspire you every step of the way. Let's go.
Let's take a moment to acknowledge the Gubbi Gubbi people, the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which I live, work and play. I thank them for the privilege of being able to live in such an incredible part of the world, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Hey there, it's Karen here. Welcome to this week's episode of the New Life in Australia podcast. At the moment, I'm just doing a little series of podcast episodes to help you get started organising your move to Australia. So they're a little bit of an introduction to some of the concepts involved in making the move so that you don't feel so overwhelmed by the whole process, because let's face it, you're moving to a whole nother country and it can feel really overwhelming and really daunting. This episode is called Where to Live in Australia. I feel very well placed to talk about this topic because it was something that we really did struggle with in so many ways when we were making the move to Australia. We were moving on a skilled independent 189 visa. We had the whole of Australia available to us. We could pick anywhere that we wanted to move to. And we were really lucky in that we had done a lot of travelling in Australia, and that really did help because we'd had a lot of experience of visiting different cities and different locations. But it didn't make it easy to decide where to move. Our hearts really were in Perth, which was a place we'd spent more time. We really loved Western Australia. I had family over in Perth and it felt like the really obvious option for us to move. And I quite liked the fact that it was closer to the UK as well for flight times. But we also had the option of Brisbane. Now, my husband had a very slight potential job opportunity in Brisbane via a friend of his who'd already moved out already. And we knew that there were a lot more work opportunities in Brisbane, or at least along the East Coast, even if Brisbane hadn't worked out. Brisbane had so many different advantages. There were so many places to go on holiday along the coast. There was so much to see and do. It was also easy to kind of hop over to other places like the South Pacific Islands if we wanted to take holidays or go to New Zealand. There was a lot to be said about moving to Brisbane, but our hearts were definitely in the location of Perth. That was where we really felt like we wanted to move. Eventually, after a lot of soul searching and a lot of applying for jobs that didn't pan out and get us anywhere, and a lot of networking online and a lot of sending out cold emails and all of that kind of thing, we ended up having to make the call one way or the other which one we were going to choose. And we chose Brisbane because we felt like the work opportunities for my husband were going to be more suitable there. Turned out to be a great decision for us. We absolutely love it. Queensland is our home and we really do adore it here. So it was really good. But we really did have a lot of soul searching to do when it came to deciding between Perth or Brisbane. But when it came to moving to Brisbane, that also was a really challenging decision to make as well, because there are so many different suburbs and all of the different suburbs offer different lifestyle opportunities as well. And we really did not know where to start. We were so lucky that we had friends who'd moved over before us and they were able to give us a bit of an overview and look at what it was we wanted from a suburb and help us narrow down the options. But there was so many choices to make and we were trying to figure out where to live, what mattered more to us, being by the beach or inland with a bigger plot. There were so many different things to consider. So I hope this episode is helpful for you, whether you are like we were trying to decide between cities where you might want to move if you're moving over on like a 189 visa and you can move anywhere, the whole of Australia is open to you, or whether you're moving to a particular place and you're still trying to decide which suburb within that location is the right one for you. Now, I've got a digital product called Where to Move in Australia that helps walk you through a lot of this in a lot more detail. I'll pop the links to that below in the show notes so you can have a little look if that's something that you're really struggling with as well right now. But I've condensed a lot of the ideas within that down into this podcast episode to get you started. Step 1 of figuring out where you want to move in Australia is to define what your dream lifestyle looks like. Get clear about what you want from your new life in Australia. How do you want it to look? What do you want to do? Different suburbs offer different types of lifestyle, and you need to spend some time thinking about what your personal priorities are. What is really important to you? Are you looking for waterfront living? Are you looking for a pool? Are you looking for a bigger home? Are you looking to be in walking distance of cafes and restaurants? Do you need to be in walking distance of a train station? There are so many different things to consider around what your lifestyle looks like and what you're hoping to achieve in your new home. I think now's a really important time to bring up the fact that the perfect place likely doesn't exist. I know you're moving to Australia to live your dream life, and that's super important. But there quite often will be compromises, especially in the early days. So you might not be able to get everything that's on your wish list right at the start. It might be something that you can build towards and work towards over the time that you're here. There are lots of really important key factors to consider when it comes to deciding where is the right location for you to be based. Now, I think in terms of, especially for cities in Australia, you need to be thinking about weather. What kind of climate zone are you looking at moving into? Because the weather really does impact your lifestyle. What's important to you? Do you hate humidity? Do you hate extreme storms? Do you love snow? Do you want to go skiing in winter? Do you love weather where there's more seasons, where you've got a really strong kind of winter and a really strong summer? Or do you prefer something that's more temperate all year round? Australia has such a variety of weather because it's such a big country. And just travelling a few hours to a different direction can give you a really different weather. So what kind of weather is important to you? Like if you really don't like humidity and heat, then Queensland probably isn't the home for you. If you really hate the cold, then Tasmania probably isn't it either. So work out what's important to you regarding weather when you're deciding which city to move to in Australia. For me, I hate cold weather. I love sunshine. I don't mind humidity. So Queensland was a natural choice. But I really don't think I could cope living in Melbourne or in Tasmania or somewhere that does get cold weather. The weather really does have a big impact as well on how much you enjoy your home life. It matters more than you might think. So make sure you really spend some time getting clear on that. House prices are something worth considering in the process of deciding where to move. Now, spend some time on realestate.com.au and domain.com.au. Have a think about what house prices are for rentals and to buy. You want to be able to know that your future can be in that location and that you can get settled there. Just remember, though, that quite often in the cities, prices are expensive and they're a lot more affordable further out of the city. So just be aware when you're searching for different areas online that you're looking at maps. Be thinking how far out you might be willing to move to get the affordable home of your dreams. Work opportunities are really important when it comes to figuring out where to move. Certain occupations really require you to move to certain parts of Australia, and other occupations can open up so many doorways to you. If you work in a school or in a hospital or you work in a trade, that really does open up the opportunities for you, and you have so many choices open to you, whether you move regionally or whether you move into a city. If you work in finance or IT, you might feel that certain cities are going to give you more opportunities. So thinking about the career opportunities is going to be important when it comes to working out where to move. Safety and crime rates are really important, so have a look at those as well. You want to feel safe and secure in your new home. Keep them in perspective. I know that online there is always a lot of talk about how crime rates have gone up and different things, but quite often because Facebook groups are around now, whereas they weren't around 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it feels like crime is more prevalent in different places. Actually do your hard research and make sure you're looking at actual statistics for this. So safety and crime rates, it's worth having a look at those because you want to feel safe and secure in your new home as well. Population size, you might decide that living in a really big city is really important to you, or you might much prefer being in a much smaller community. So again, personal choice, decide what it is that suits you more. So lifestyle opportunities, what is it that you want to do? What's important to you? Are you looking to be waterside? Are you looking for coffee shops, restaurants, gyms? Are you looking for local things to do? Are you looking for somewhere that's got quite a buzzing kind of environment, lots of activities, lots of nightlife? Or are you looking for somewhere more sleepy and somewhere more quiet? Be thinking about what it is that's important to you in your lifestyle. Schools are important if you've got kids. So if you're thinking about state schools, be researching catchment areas for those good schools. And also if you're thinking about private schools, be thinking about what the wait lists are like and whether it's an opportunity for you to get on a waiting list. A lot of the research on schools can be done online ahead of the move, but I do also really value going around the schools in person because I don't think you can beat actually visiting the schools and meeting the teachers in person. Entertainment and social life is quite often something that people get wrong when they make the move and decide where to live. I frequently see people posting in Brisbane groups about how it's laid back and quiet and calm, and they were really expecting somewhere with a really buzzing, busy nightlife. Like, make sure that the place that you're moving to matches the kind of entertainment and social life that you're looking for. Are you looking for fine dining and like endless cafes and restaurants? Or are you looking for somewhere that's more laid back and some more community atmosphere? Like where we live, there really aren't any nightclubs or any nighttime entertainment for young people. So it suits us because that wasn't on our radar of something that we wanted. But if I was in my 20s, I'd probably be wanting somewhere to go out clubbing and have fun. And this probably wouldn't be the right place for me. Another fact to consider when you're deciding where to move is be thinking about the bigger picture of travel opportunities in future. Where might you go on holiday? Are there any great opportunities for going for weekends away or going for short haul flights to go on holidays to different places? Could you drive to different places along the coast to get a different holiday experience? I know that you don't move somewhere for the travel opportunities from that place. You move there because the place is the right place for you. But I do think that there's a lot to be said about having somewhere that has plenty of travel opportunities for you so that you can plan lots of amazing holidays from your new home. And transport links is another really important one. Now, Australia isn't as good as the UK was for public transport. That's okay, like it is what it is. Just if you want to catch trains into the city, you need to be thinking about that and planning for that. Now, saying that it's not as good as the UK, prices here for public transport are so much lower here where I am in Brisbane anyway. It's so much lower, so much more affordable, so much cleaner, so much more reliable as well. So I do really appreciate the transport links here, even though they aren't quite as comprehensive. If you're thinking of working in the city and living further out, then being on a train route is really valuable. So be considering where you're going to live, where you're going to work, those kind of things, and what the transport opportunities are like in the city you're moving to. So I hope that list of factors really helps you kind of put together a brainstorm list. You've got to think about weather, house prices, work and career opportunities, safety and crime rates, population size, lifestyle opportunities, schools, entertainment and social life, travel opportunities for future holidays, and transport links. Now, when you've gone through all of those ideas and thought about which places offer you those opportunities, it's time to really get clear and narrow down your choices. I like to come up with a list of a few options and really write a big pros and cons list for each of the options on your shortlist. Pros and cons lists are amazing. They really do help focus your attention. Now, you may or may not have visited these places before, so it may be a bit harder for you to actually write a pros and cons list if you haven't actually visited all of the places, but I still think there is so much value in doing this. When we were doing our pros and cons list for Brisbane and for Perth, we hadn't spent any time in Brisbane. We'd driven through it. We'd spent time on the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast. We hadn't actually spent any time in Brisbane. So we were kind of making our pros and cons list from a theoretical idea of what we were expecting it to be like, but it still really did the job. It still really helped us get clear on what was important to us. Now, you can find yourself giving scores to the different options on your pros and cons list, so you work out overall which one scores the highest for you. But I honestly do think that the biggest, most important way of figuring this out is actually just to feel your way into what the right choice is. I think deep down, you always know what choice you want to make, even if you think you don't. It's a bit like if somebody says to you, which restaurant do you want to go to, A or B, and you say, I don't mind. And then the other person says, oh, well, let's go to B. And your heart kind of sinks because you're like, oh, you were really hoping for A. I think the same comes when it comes to choosing where to live. I think deep down you actually do feel drawn to one of the options and it feels like the right choice for you, but you just kind of skirting around the issue and spending your time doing your pros and cons lists and trying to be practical. But this isn't always a practical decision. Sometimes this is just like a head versus heart kind of, you just kind of got to go with what feels like the right fit at the time. When it came to us with our Brisbane and Perth options, even though our heart was kind of saying Perth, I knew deep down really that the right decision for us was Brisbane. It just felt like the most logical. It felt like the best solution for us. So we just kind of went with that. That felt like the right choice for us at the time. And once we said it out loud, we realised, yeah, that's it. That's where we need to go. So spend your time, work out, journal, figure out all the things that are important to you. Look for the location that you can find that helps you achieve the most of those things that you want from your life. That really is what it comes down to. It's looking for what you want in your life, what's important to you, and finding the location that offers you the most of that. And at the end of the day, also keeping in the back of your mind that it doesn't really matter where you move in Australia, because this is just your first step on your adventure. And if it doesn't quite fall into place or doesn't feel 100% right in a few months' time or a year's time or 2 years' time, there are other opportunities. You are not stuck wherever you go. You're moving in a forward momentum and you can go wherever you want to. I know so many people that have moved to Australia and then they've moved to a different city later on down the line, and that's allowed. That's absolutely fine. I've got a great episode actually from Tracy, who moved to Mackay in Queensland and then realised quite quickly that that wasn't quite the lifestyle that they were hoping for, and then she moved down to Brisbane and now absolutely loves it here. So you are not stuck wherever you decide to move. Where to move is just a choice in the moment, and it's something that you can choose again. Now, looping back around to the thing that I mentioned earlier on about compromises, no place is absolutely perfect, and there likely isn't going to be 100% perfect fit for giving you your dream lifestyle right away in Australia. It's something that you're going to work towards. But I really encourage you to be flexible and be open and adapt over time and just keep working towards building that dream life. When we first moved to Brisbane, we knew we wanted to be by the beach. We also wanted a pool and we wanted a bigger house. So we had all those things. We were trying to kind of balance them, and we looked at lots of homes to buy and none quite fitted the bill. We ended up compromising. We had to make that decision about what was more important to us. Did we want the bigger home with a pool, or did we want to be by the beach? And we had to kind of make a choice one way or the other. So we ended up deciding to move just a little bit inland to a bigger home with a pool. It's been the right choice for us. It's really fitted our lifestyle and it was really good. At some stage in the future, I really do want to move to the beach, but by then our kids probably will have grown up and moved on. So we'll probably be looking at downsizing to a smaller property by the beach then when that time comes. So it's really suited our family's lifestyle over the years, and for now it's a perfect location for us. At some point in the future, I really would love to build our own home, but we'll see what happens in the future and where we end up. I'm just really excited to know that we are where we are and we've got so many opportunities going forward. So I hope this episode has really given you lots to think about and helped you narrow down your perfect place in Australia. If you would like some more support, I've got a programme available called Discover Your Perfect Place, Where to Move in Australia. The goal of it is really all about working out what your dream lifestyle looks like and which location in Australia is going to deliver the most of that. So if you'd like some more support with worksheets, questions, prompts, videos, and just to be guided through the process, then that's a really great place to start. I'll pop the link for it below in the show notes. So thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this week's episode, I would love it if you would please leave a review in your favourite podcast app. And in the meantime, let's get building your new life in Australia, one episode at a time.